Here's Brody Brazil.
Wind was cited as the one thing that Judge Brad Seligman did not see was adequately mitigated or analyzed in the EIR. And they're not talking that the Howard Terminal site is going to create wind. It's how does the site deal with wind? And they don't want to create a wind tunnel. They don't want to create dangerous situations. He basically said there's no performance standard set, right? So that seems easy to resolve, and they are going to have that resolution, I hope, here by the end of September. Well, I think an answer is like this. The project cannot create winds all on itself that peak out at 25 miles an hour for a maximum of 6 straight hours. Like if they say that and then they can design it around that, this should not be a problem. It's kind of almost laughable as the last thing that remains.
I think if you went through the entire challenge by the petitioners, I think this is the one thing that was probably the easiest one to remedy. Because let's look at it like this. You're building a baseball stadium, right? You can't play baseball in a stadium with crazy wind challenges, right?
We don't want Candlestick Park 2 again.
It's going to ruin the baseball games. It's going to ruin the fan experience. So if you're telling me that they're not going to adequately study the wind impacts of that site before they build that stadium, to me, that's crazy. Now, the reason they couldn't provide the information they wanted to provide is because they don't have all the building designs finalized. So they don't know exactly how high and how wide and where each building, they have a pretty good idea, but some of that stuff could change. And so they are going to have to come up with a solution. And I would think the solution would be when they have that finalized to have said certain wind expert really go through it and make the adjustments. That's something that the petitioners don't want to hear. They don't want to hear promises down the line that may or may not be met. And in fairness to them, that's a big problem. So I think what'll happen is before 9/20, we're 11 days away. They have to have something by 9/20. Each side is going to come up with basically an offer. Then on the 20th, they're going to meet and go over those offers. And I just don't see the other side of the equation here, the opposition accepting any offers, no matter how good the proposal is. So maybe that's when the judge steps in and goes, okay, I think this is fair based on what you're both saying, when study's done.
I just have confidence that with all the new venues and things that have been built in the Bay Area, they've mitigated wind before. All the judge was saying is there's no specific tolerance set. All you got to do is set a tolerance, and then you can design. You can design around it so that the site will not exceed that tolerance. That conversation blows.